I am thrilled to introduce to you a husband and wife team because when you go to their website, they have a quote that I think is really powerful. Behind every door, there's a family. So welcome this family, Kyle and Casey Wallace.
Thank you for having us.
Truly my pleasure. I was on your website and really felt the brand behind your family. So you're formerly a pastor.
Yes, sir.
And you're formerly an RN. So you both come from large servant hearts. Mm-hmm. And this will surprise you, they came from California. Yeah. You've never heard of anyone leaving California for Nashville.
I know it. We're not
right?
Not the native, for sure.
Yeah. And with all the respect to that part of California, that was not the prettiest part of California.
No. Definitely the farmland, which is very similar to Middle Tennessee, which is probably why we love it so much.
And you were from that area.
Yes.
Kyle, you came to that area.
Yes.
You two met.
Yes. High school sweethearts.
High school sweethearts.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Two phenomenal children, boy and girl.
Yes. Born in California.
And came to Nashville 7 years ago.
And had two more.
And
had two more. So let's start with that. Why Nashville?
You know, I wish I had this really great answer for you. We have people that approach us and they have this spreadsheet of taxes and, you know, family life. And we really found Nashville by accident.
Really?
I mean, it was really just a divine sovereign plan to get us here because we didn't do any type of research.
So I just got to ask, accident, like the plane had a layover, you booked the wrong destination. What happened?
No, we were just at this season in this kind of crossroads in life back in California where we were looking for a change. And I happened to get on Twitter and somebody had posted a job opening for a youth pastor position in Franklin and had no idea that Franklin was even close to Nashville. I just knew this person and thought, you know what, maybe we should put our name in the hat. And about a 6-month process, and we landed in this beautiful slice of heaven and have never looked back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you came over as a youth to be a youth pastor, right? And were you practicing as an RN in Nashville or Franklin?
Yes,
okay.
I absolutely was.
So how long have you been in real estate?
So this is year 6 for us.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did it by myself for a couple of years, and then it was always a dream of mine for Casey to work with me.
Wow.
And so I said, hey, this is getting too crazy. I need you to come on board, and we haven't looked back. So yeah.
We talk about it, God family business, and you are living it.
Yeah.
So how did you get into real estate?
Oh man. I'm a crier too, so when I start talking about passion points, I'm sorry.
This is ladies and gentlemen, just pull out the Kleenex now. Here we go.
No, I have loved houses. You know, I watched my grandfather, who was a firefighter, retired. He had a 10th grade education, and I would go visit them in the St. Louis area.
Yeah.
And he just bought these old houses, and he would honestly watch the obituaries. And he would call these widows that had these monster homes that didn't really have any use for them, and he would do owner financing. And he would go in, and on his off days, he would split these properties up and make them apartments. And there was a dentistry school in town, and he would rent all these units out. So he built this empire on a 10th grade education. And then fast forward, got to see some really cool things with a church that my dad also pastors a church out in California. And got to see some really cool things with 10 acres of land that they purchased for $88,000, and in 5 years it grew to a value of $2.3 million. They sold that, really helped set the church up for success. And so my passion for real estate has been from the time I was a little boy, and you know, the time came when we moved here where it was time to kind of jump into that and kind of answer that call to that passion. So,
which, by the way, nurses, kindergarten teachers, pastors all make great real estate agents.
Yes, that's
so
absolutely true.
Your husband's very charming. How did he convince you to go from serving in a medical facility to real estate?
You know, it wasn't hard.
All right.
We're just having our 4th child, and it just really fit. We had flipped homes in California prior to moving to Tennessee, is what Kyle didn't say earlier, but it felt like a natural fit. So he really didn't have to work too hard on it, honestly.
Yeah.
I love it. So you're like, let's just go into business together.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Yeah.
All right. So is there any skeleton behind the closet on starting a husband-wife team that
Ooh.
you can
a really
share?
good
This
question.
is like,
All right, buckle up here.
Buckle
There we
up.
go.
I think the biggest lesson that we learned that we are both very passionate individuals, and we love spending time together. Genuinely, it grieves me when I hear people that they can't wrap their head around working with their spouse, because we
You're
genuinely-
tearing up again.
I know, I love my wife. Sorry.
He's tearing up
Here we
again.
go.
My goodness. Okay. All right.
All right.
So yeah, the biggest roadblock that we hit, and we had a great coach at the time that really kind of helped us and navigate through this, but it was to pick our lane and stick in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so when we realized that Casey was an amazing relationship creator, she really became our director of operations and really the head of our marketing. And I love the deal. I love negotiating, and I love taking care of people in a process. So I became our director of sales. And
So you're very clear on playing to your strengths,
Yes.
which fulfills your spiritual passion.
Yes.
And that benefits your relationship and the customers who pay you,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's imagine that we have a listener right now who is in a situation where they want their significant other to be in the business. Any words of wisdom that you would speak to on that?
That's a great question. I would say, having that clear lane is very important. So recognizing, what is my spouse or my partner good at that maybe I'm not, and really recognizing those gifts and giving each other permission, to operate in those lanes is really part of the key. I think. I don't know what you
Yeah.
think.
I think marriage is a beautiful thing where you can experience a synergy that others aren't able to kind of, even in a business partnership, that they're not able to, accomplish or replicate. And so there's a delicate balance. I mean, the fact is we're in the office together, and we might not see eye to eye, on a business deal or some sort of staffing issue, whatever it might be. And the reality is we get to take that to the dinner table with kids and to our bedroom at night,
Yeah.
And so I think it's to have those clear conversations where actually a pastor who it's a husband and wife team. They work really well together. We've looked up to them for a number of years, and they said, we have had to learn to have this conversation where I walk up to my husband and say, I'm speaking to you as the church administrator.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
And then he walks up to his wife and says, I'm speaking to you as the senior pastor of the church.
Right.
And so kind of establishing the fact that this is nothing personal. This is a business
I'm
conversation.
putting on this hat
Yes.
or
Yep.
this robe
Yes.
or this honor of badge,
Yes.
speaking to you in that role.
Yes. Yeah.
And that does help us become less defensive. So here's the interesting thing for me, that
Yeah.
you are formerly pastor, but still very spiritual.
Yes.
Formerly a nurse, still very much a caretaker. And you've brought on two members of the team. He was formerly a pastor and she was formerly a nurse.
Well, it's both she's. So
Both
Yes,
she's,
yeah.
okay.
And here's what's fun too. Both of their names are Jen, and both of them have the last name that starts with an M. So
Right.
they're
Right.
interchangeable, but
So
they're amazing
we're-
people. Yeah.
We have middle names, or we're just going Jen M?
We go Jen and Jennifer.
Jen
yeah,
and Jennifer,
it's kind of
okay.
what we've narrowed it down to. But they're incredible. Their heart, the most important thing for us when we were growing our team. I tried to do it a few years ago, and I did it with the wrong intentions. I thought it was kind of the flashy thing to do and the cool thing to do to build a team. And when we started building based on need and service level that we were providing, it really became evident that our secret sauce, if you will, is our culture and taking care of people.
Wow.
So finding people, we called it, to kind of wrap it in our background, I called it, we need somebody that's going to pastor our people and be able to do that well, to nurture, to take care, to understand that the dynamic behind their big why in making a move here is essential to understand, And so if our people are their core, at their core, it's taking care of others, then they're going to replicate the culture that we want to create. So, yeah.
I don't know if you can see this, but the way that Kyle looks at Casey, you can see how in sync they are. How do you find that connection every single moment? We've been together a matter of minutes, and you clearly have a connection that I don't think I've ever seen before.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Listen, you get the credit. I'm just trying to follow the plan.
Yeah.
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 Well, we, I believe from a biblical perspective, we are Christians, and it's very clear that, the Bible talks about the two becoming one. And so a unity is something that it's not a piece of paper that we signed.
Right.
It's a spiritual covenant and contract that we have where we're committed to do life together. And that means that I put, her wants and needs before mine, and she does the same with me. And so it really is, we do feel very blessed. I know that unfortunately what we have is not necessarily a normal thing, but that's also one of our goals with our people, our staff, those in our community. We want to model what a good marriage looks like, what it's supposed to look like. So, yeah.
That is so inspiring. So when we take a look at growing the team and growing the business, you've also built a large book of business.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. What are some of the fun things you like to represent? Fun properties, types of properties,
I'll let you
locations.
take this one, yeah.
I love the farmland, honestly. So Nashville is so diverse when it comes to real estate. You can be in a city, you can be in the country. I tend to lean towards loving, the 10 to 20 acre property with a beautiful farmhouse, which is what we find a lot in Franklin, just 20 minutes south of Brentwood. So that would definitely be my favorite to represent.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a tribute to your childhood.
Right, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
That's
the
great.
Rolling Hills in Middle Tennessee, it's second to none.
I love that.
Yeah.
Kyle, what about for you?
You know what? I love the diverse aspect of what Nashville brings. If someone wants a luxury, condo and a high-rise building, they can find that, Yeah. If it
Me.
so
Full
our
service,
Yes.
door person.
I love it.
Club lounge,
I love
game
it.
on.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think with our secret sauce, with kind of like what we love relationships.
Right.
And so with that, we find out what the needs are of our people. And what we find, we're over 90% buyers, which is kind of a no-no in real estate, but we love it. We
Common right now, though.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
talk about, looking for leads for listings, but reality is there's money knocking on your door. You don't want
Yes.
to turn that away.
Yeah.
And we really capitalized on that market, and so
Yeah.
we've built a really, bulletproof system on how to get buyers from out of state to figure out what they want in Middle Tennessee and kind of go from there.
Well, and the amount of transactions, let's talk about the growth and walk me through the numbers from 2019 to 2022.
Yeah.
You've grown exponentially.
Yeah, so in 2019, we closed out the year at, I want to say that year was 12.5 million in closed volume. 2020 was 22.5.
Right. Which, by the way, half the year was basically closed.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
So 2021, we closed it out at 48, almost 50, somewhere in there. Like
So
48
in
to 50.
half of 2021,
Yes.
you did all the volume you did in 2020.
In
Right.
May, we celebrated with our team that we hit that number. So
Wow.
And now we closed the first quarter out with just a hair over 40 million in under contracts and closed. So we're
And-
projecting a little over 100 million this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
What
so
does that feel like?
Blessed.
Yeah.
Really blessed.
It feels
Yeah.
fun, honestly. We're
Yeah.
builders by nature,
Yeah.
and so it's just been such a blast to meet all of these amazing, clients of ours and build the team.
Yeah.
It really is
Our,
such a
our
great life.
favorite thing though is the type of people that we're meeting and bringing into the network. We kind of, this year we've pinpointed who we are in our marketing, and we've changed from there's nothing wrong with it, but it used to be Wallace Group leading you home, and we've changed it this year to Wallace Group creating community.
Right.
So
smart.
we are an events-based business. We just had a wine event at a local vineyard in the area, and our favorite thing is to just sit back and watch these people that are moving from all over the country, network with one another, create community. It's the funnest. Honestly, that's
fun.
something that I just sit and look at my social media feed for about 2 weeks and just watch some of these relationships that have been created.
Well, because you built the business without buying the leads.
Yeah.
Right.
You've built the community, the framework, and
Yeah.
people have opted into the community and they haven't left it.
Yeah,
So you are living this lifestyle where you get to watch them connect and
yeah,
enjoy their next chapter.
it's special. It is.
So, I could literally sit here all day with you because I'm so inspired by not only the business that you've created, but the lives that you're living.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What's going to happen next?
That's a good question.
This is a loaded question.
Yeah.
You know, we've got 4 small kids, and we really do try to focus a lot of our time on being intentional with them.
Yeah.
We've purchased several Airbnb properties and building a lake house currently that we plan to spend a lot of family time together. But I think we really just do plan to take it one step at a time, knowing that it's to build a life by design, and that's kind of what we're doing day by day.
Well, you're so connected to the community that you've built.
Yeah.
I think that is a gold mine for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really proud of you. It's
Thank you.
so nice to share time with someone who loves their partner as much as you do. And I see the respect back to him. So thank you for putting that God family business into reality.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I think you probably had the opportunity to experience Nashville through 5 wonderful individuals. Here's what I learned from Alex. It's about asking the right questions so that you can show up in the moment and deliver what the client needs right away. And then we talked to Josh, who basically built a phenomenal business on the importance of standards, understanding brand standards, talent standards, and the standards around the customer experience. Alice, well, she pulled back the curtain of what it's like to be with Keller Williams for 20 years, how she started her company as an individual agent with a 2-year-old and young twins, and sold 24 homes to grow into leadership and then repivot back into production, realizing the importance of always being present for the conversation that she's having. And finally, with Kyle and Casey Wallace, well, we talk about God, family, and business, and the 2 of them put it into action. They moved from California to start a new chapter. And they're building a chapter not just for them, but they're building a chapter for the people who are part of their community. Well, as your director of growth, we want you to be aware that you're in the right community. You're part of Keller Williams Luxury. And every day we wake up to make sure you have the community that you need to build the life you want. Connect with these 5 individuals, because by connecting with them, you're going to connect with who you are and the person you want to be next. As your director of growth, my job is to help you grow. We're here for you. We're proud of who you are. We're proud of what you do, and we're proud of how you show up every day. Thanks for being with Keller Williams Luxury. We'll see you soon.